This is Lesson 3 in the National 5 Textual Analysis with the lead poem War Photographer. So we've already looked at the commonality section, the middle section, and now we're going to look at the final section. The success criteria for this part is very similar to the middle section, where you are going to be able to select key quotes from other poems, use the SQE structures that we've already discussed, analyse the techniques based on your notes, and apply the analysis directly to the question. So this is just a reminder of the question that we've been exemplifying so far all the way through, and this is about emotionally disturbing situations. This is the comparator element where you have to select 2 examples from another poem to get your marks. So right now you have originally in Mrs. Tilsher's class taught to you so that you've got that to work with. So there are lots of different choices that you can make for this section, but to make it easier for yourself, it is easier to stick to one poem as your second poem. However, what you have to bear in mind is that the quotes that you choose from your poem must match the question. And if you are struggling to analyse some of the quotes, choose ones that have a little bit more depth that can give you the marks. So as you already know, this section is worth 4 marks, 2 marks for accurate quotes and 2 marks for analysis linked to the question. This is the first worked answer I want you to have a look at from Mrs. Tilsher's class. You can see down the side the SQE structures are there to keep your structure right. So we've chosen word choice, and the quotation is "but stared at your parents appalled when you got home." Now the focus really is the word appalled, because that is the word that has the most power in the sentence. So in the answer, it says the word appalled suggests shock and horror. She cannot believe what she's been told, and the strong feelings of revulsion. So up to that point, the analysis of the word appalled is there, given those powerful feelings. Then the link to the question, she is emotionally disturbed by this information, has given her a new, unwanted perspective on life. It's a powerful example that marks the end of childhood innocence, which, as you know, is the key theme of the poem. So it's been analysed and it's been directly linked to the task, so this would achieve 2 marks. Now the second answer is from originally, and you can mix and match the poems, but I would suggest that you stick to one poem. But if you did choose originally, this is an example that you could use and how you would deal with it. So the SQE structures down the side, as you can see again, given its structure, and word choice and alliteration are the two techniques that are highlighted for big boys eating worms and shouting words you don't understand. So starting off by analysing the alliteration, which is used to primarily draw attention to the word choice of these threatening and intimidating boys, the harsh B on the idea of big reinforces this idea. She recalls an emotionally disturbing experience that was frightening and alien to her, loud, aggressive behaviour that has long stayed with her as she reflects on her anxious and uncertain emotions. How to respond to these strangers with different accents. Now, this bit links directly to the task with the emotionally disturbing experience, but it goes a little bit further to talk about the impact of the boys on her and how that was emotionally disturbing. So this would be a really strong answer that would again achieve 2 marks. Okay, so now you've had a look at the emotionally disturbing examples, you are now going to refocus on taking your own answer to the next stage using the question about exploring the link between past and present. By now you should have made a choice of which poem that you want to do, but to give you some extra support, I've given you 4 possible quotes to help you select on the next few slides. Although you remember it's not just exclusive to these, you can use any examples from the poem to complete this task. The air tasted of electricity from Mrs. Tilsher's class. Always untidy, hot, fractious, under the heavy sexy sky from Mrs. Tilsher's class. My brothers cried, one of them bawling from originally. My parents' anxiety stirred like a loose tooth from originally. Now, in the previous few slides, I did not give you the analysis which you should have in your notes, so I'm only selecting them potentially for you. Now, this section has the subheading. It should be the title of your chosen poem, and I'm going to give you a couple of graphic organisers to help you set out your answer. So here's the first graphic organiser. It's very similar. Here's the next one, very similar to what you've already done before. Sometimes it's easier to see the answer in full before you even get to the point where you're writing about it. And I've done that by giving you the emotionally disturbing situations, putting all of it together. So from the other videos, you've got the commonality, then you've got the given poem, then you've got two selections from originally. So this compares War Photographer to originally, and it shows you how you would structure and go through your analysis of the question to get full marks. There's a full section of this that's contained within files. You will also find the graphic organisers in full to help you structure so that you can remember the subheadings and the sections to help you get full marks in this question. So I encourage you to use those or just use them as a visual aid as you write your own answer. And again, a reminder about your self-assessment and see how you're getting on with your learning and where to go for help, asking your teachers a question, going back and revising all of the work that you've done previously in these videos, and especially your annotated poem. Use a friend to help you if you're really stuck, and then you can check your understanding of the final section so far by looking at the traffic lights. Now there are two expectations at the end of this section of work. You should have a full 8-mark question to hand in based on the past and present question. Then you have your exit pass to let your teacher know if you're red, amber or green. If you're stuck on any section, just hand in some of it. If you've only been able to understand some of the success criteria, then hand in some of it. Some is better than none. And then you can recheck and see how you're getting on. Now at this point you've done a full 8-marker and you've had one exemplified for you. This would be the final practice assessment question that you're going to do fully on your own without any help, and it's a little bit different. So the question is, by referring to this poem and at least one other by Duffy, discuss how the poet explores the attempts of characters to cope with life-changing situations. And your job is to use every skill that you've learned to create that 8-marker with the structures and the graphic organisers to make sure that you can get 8 out of 8 on this question. And at that point, you should be fully prepared to work with these 3 poems or 2 poems. And this is the kind of way that you would prepare for an assessment under time conditions on this. So hopefully all this has helped.